Okay, we are on. We're live. Yay. Thank you all for attending. Yeah. And I will continue my darshan teaching. The main thing that I'm going to be helping with today is the process of our view of what is tomorrow, what is the future like. Yeah. We have all around us people talking and saying things, and it doesn't look good. Yeah. And Elon Musk, the savior of the world, he's running around and puts all of his money into Mars, and that how many of you can escape this place and colonize that place for what's inside of his head, which is fear, a lot of projected fear. And his view of how to fix, what really, really bothers him, the fact that we are in danger. We're in a lot of danger. And for a guy who can do something to help in some physical way, this is his attempt. This is his level of compassion, and he has compassion, and he has empathy, and he has some understanding, but he's not connected to the truth of the history of the world, so he doesn't really have faith in humanity. Yeah, he sees it in a very disjointed way. As a millionaire, as a billionaire, as an elitist. Yeah, as though we can pick up this paycheck and go to Mars and go on interstellar trips and not worry about anybody at home. Because they're all gonna follow us. When the planet goes all to hell, we'll have an escape route. As though that's the plan, and it's really not the plan. We don't know our planet, we don't know it, and we have an enormous amount of history in it, who we haven't answered yet who built the pyramids, actually. We haven't answered yet how did all the stones in the Aztecs and the Mayans and all the places around the world, how that stonework get put in, something we can't do today. And we probably won't be able to do very soon in the future, for a long, long time. So we have to catch up to our past, not think that we need to escape because we're stupid, because we don't have skills, we don't have purpose for being here. Like Elon Musk says, I want you to wake up in the morning and have purpose for being here, to know that there is an escape route. To know that, you might be able to put your time and energy for the rest of your life into focusing on going to Mars or some other thing in that relationship, saving the world, a saving the world kind of scenario. And that could really take up a lot of your time and energy, and it's something we're going to do. We're going to go into space, we're going to develop technologies, we're going to do all these things, but we need the right teacher that's telling us why we're moving in these directions and how did we get this far so fast. It's not Elon Musk, it's not any of that. And if we can't see the past, the present, and the future, if we can't really see it for what it is, then we're going to be deluded by people like Elon Musk or Trump or QAnon or many things. Because it's all an illusion. No one really knows. But I believe in trying your hardest, using science, stay within methodology, develop technology, advance your consciousness, develop all realms of what it takes for us to move forward and have an easier, a better life, and sustain this world in a way that it's meant to be done. We're led that way by God. We're led that way, but we're leaving out God. We put in, Trump first, or we put in QAnon first, or we put in Elon Musk first, or we put in Elvis Presley first, or we put in whatever it is, our deity, or our belief system of how high this person, or this thing, or this event, or these circumstances play. That they're the things that are ruling our consciousness, and it shouldn't be. God, is running this thing, and is running it with great understanding, with with recapitulation in process, not destroy the earth, let it be destroyed. There is no saving grace. Whatever happened to Jesus, whatever happened to coming of Christ, whatever happened, all that. Why is it doom and gloom? Why is it we have to go to Mars? Where's coming of Jesus? Where's God? It's all left out. It's as though this is the alternative. But in reality, all of this is going on because of the appearance of Christ. But we have to have the right teacher. If we have the wrong teacher, like Elon Musk or anybody else, trying to interpret the quickness and the advancements that are going on right now, we're going to get the wrong message, and it's going to be based on fear and hate and other things. So the truth is that our past is extreme. 500,000 years. We were civilized. We can go back, find artifacts, spark plugs, batteries. We can find computers. We can find all kinds of stuff. We can find airplanes, hundreds of airplanes, small little airplanes, that if you build them big, they will fly. And these are just little models of what existed, toys for children, for the airplanes in flight, just like we would do today. These things are found, all over the place. In Central America, they're found there. They're found in Greece, off the shore of Greece. A computer is found. Give me a break. We're not supposed to have those things 2,000 to 3,000 years ago. But since it was in the ocean, and we pull it up and you tear it apart a bit, and you come to realize this is literally a computer. Check this out. These are ancient jets, 3,000 years ago. Not one, not two, not three, but a whole bunch of them. That's 1,000 CE. That's 3,000 years ago. And then in 1936, we found batteries. Not one, but a bunch of batteries. And they cut through them thinking that they were a rock, but they had all this iron and everything in them. And they decided to take those batteries and put electrolytes in it and see what happens. And they worked. And then they connected them together in a series. And they got a lot of voltage. Just like we do today with batteries in a series. Thousands of years ago. This is a spark plug. A spark plug. Found inside of a rock 500,000 years old. A spark plug. How many times have we gone around in our civilization? If you study the Vedas and other histories, you'll see that the time that we come around is hundreds of thousands of years of it. And many times it takes like 30,000 years, 40,000 years, 25,000 years per cycle. And how many times have we done those cycles? At least 500,000 times or years. That's a lot. This is that computer. So all of it, everything that we're finding, has little to do with the fact that we're less than 10,000 years old, which is what Elon Musk will teach you. Elon Musk, the smartest guy on the planet, supposedly, says we're 10,000 years old. And that's when we came out of the caves. That's when we started being, human beings, and we started a little making of a wheel and messing around with things. That's him. That's what he thinks in his mind. That's what he comprehends. But it's not true at all. And the people that he's working with have all these abilities because they reincarnate tens of thousands of times developing these skills, technologies, and techniques. And when we come back around, we're moved due to the cycle of time that we're in and the ability that we can best serve society. And we're in that cycle of time. And he doesn't see that. He doesn't see that we're actually entering in a new phase of spirituality, of telepathy and intuition. And if you look back in history, our history 20, 30, 40, 50,000 years ago was temple building. The Great Pyramids, all the monuments that you see, all the stone carvings, large, hundreds of feet tall stone carvings cut inside of mountains. Tens of thousands of them all over the planet. Yeah? None of it done overnight. All of it done over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Because the civilization at that time was developed in that technology, and it was all over the planet. You could find it everywhere. You can find it in Mexico. You can find it in China. You can find it in India. You can find it even in America and Europe. Stonehenge, all of it. Yeah, goes back 10, 20, 30,000 years. Yeah, that's just one cycle of civilization. We go back to that cycle of time, we'll see the Ice Age and the Great Flood and the end of dinosaurs and shit like that happened. Yeah, and that happened. That was a history. But that just wipes out our ability to remember or have any kind of artifacts that we could find, because the soil could be a mile deep, 2 miles deep, 3 miles deep. It could be under an ocean. Yeah, mountains could have moved and completely sealed over. Earthquakes and all kinds of things within hundreds of thousands of years. Earth changes. Yeah, and you simply don't have relics. You don't have anything. If anything, you might find something in a dig, you know, after an earthquake, or after a deluge of a flood, or maybe after going into the ocean and going down off the, edge of continents and finding lost cities, that we weren't aware of. And we start remembering and seeing historical connections that go back. And just one I showed you is 500,000 years old. I've shown a hammer that was over 1 million years old. A hammer, people. I've shown footprints of shoes that are over 1 million years old. Yeah. So we are a lot older than 10,000 years, and we come around a lot. And we do have a subconscious scenario of the fact that, the Earth has horrifying experiences that wipes out society, wipes out humanity, wipes out animals, wipes out people. It does. It's happened over and over and over again. But we still keep redeveloping. The Earth is renewable. It's sustainable. It's the most sustainable planet on all of the continents of universes, cosmos, galaxies, everywhere. This is the human wave planet. This is the planet that's next to the sun in the best possible way. It's got the right solar relationship to a lunar relationship. Cosmically, there's nothing like it. Something has designed this in a physical, metaphysical way that allows us to reap the re-healing, the regenerative qualities of this earth. So thinking that we have to run someplace and get to another planet to save ourselves, and it's not planned into this place, you're wrong. The moon is not a moon. It's not the thing you think it is. It's different. It's there for a resonating purpose. It resonates with the earth in the most profound way you can ever imagine. The sun does too, and the earth does too. It has its own human wave. It's like a drum. If you listen to it, you can hear a drum beating. That's the earth. You go to Mars, you're no drum beating, no sacred moons, nothing. Sacredness is not there. Sacredness is a state of geomancy. It's a center point. It's like a mandala. You know, you don't go to the edge of mandala, find a little part of it, and think you're in the whole mandala. You must find the center. And from there, it is all connected like a Mandelbrot. You know? So if we're not thinking like this, if we're not aware of the fact that this comes around often, yeah, we die often, but we reincarnate, and the earth is regenerative. It is heaven. It has a spark within it that is different. It's psychic. It's developed of intuition and telepathy. So we have consciousness that comes from this earth. And we don't get that when we go to Mars or Jupiter or any other place. Yeah? Earth is what gives us this collective consciousness. Yeah? So without understanding, without knowing our past and relating to the fact that this is a long-term, we have been on this, a long-term reality. And we serve Earth. We serve this reality. And in that, we are instilled a plan on how to work out any problem that we've got. And that's collectively coming in. And that happens through the Christ. Without the third party, without us bringing the third party in and thinking we have a planetary logos who's in charge. We have a Christ who is the planetary logos who's in charge. And if we want to know something, we got to actually ask the planetary logos. And the planetary logos is always here. And if you go to the masters are a reflection of the planetary logos. So they will give you information. You know, they'll help you understand the information that's going on at the time. And they'll bring past information into it in order to clarify the present situation. Yeah? Because they can see both past, present, and future. Yeah? There's a strong telepathic rapport within the hierarchy that blends into humanity. But if you miss God, if you miss Christ, you're going to miss the hierarchy. You're going to miss the whole entire process that moves us forward and gives us our recapitulation, because we die and reincarnate. And when we die and reincarnate, even if we die and die on Mars, we will reincarnate back on Earth. You won't reincarnate on Mars. If you die on a spaceship and somebody has a baby on that spaceship, it's not likely going to be you. It's just going to be a baby on a spaceship with karma in relationship to that situation. It's a terrible outcome for us to put our new cycles of birth into that struggle. You know, we don't have that as our life cycle. Yeah. So we're going to learn that. We're going to learn a lot of things over the next up to 2035, because that's when we actually start landing on Mars. We actually start asking people to go by the dozens and be there and work and try and come back and live and get to the 40s, you know, and research this thing, you know, experiment with the human body and the mind and how the soul is lost, how you become soulless in this process. Yeah. It's going to be an experience for us to go, oh, okay, we learned from that one. We don't do that. We're not built for it. We're not designed for it. It's not what we do. You know, maybe as angels, you know, we go across the cosmos, you know, and have all kinds of freedom in that way, you know, but not as human beings. Human beings means that you are incarnated on Earth. Yeah. And you can't take these false teachers who will lead you away from your reincarnation, lead you away from Earth's service, because they simply don't understand. They're not enlightened. Without enlightenment, you don't have any of this stuff coming at you. Everything I have to say, you do not have it coming at you. Enlightenment is the only thing that gives these teachings. Yeah? And enlightenment is the only thing in truth, in the end, that we get. All the rest is an illusion and a delusion, and it's a lot of conflict, it's a lot of hardship, it's a lot of misunderstanding. But as soon as we attain more and more enlightenment, everything starts coming together, and our cooperation of understanding moves things to where we don't misdirect people or ourselves. You know, we just find the path, and we stay on that path. And we know we don't have to leave. We know we don't have to go. We know we don't have to do all these things because we're not receiving or teaching other people those delusions. We're not QAnon. We're not an Elon Musk, person who believes that we all have to colonize in Mars. We don't have to believe that. Yeah? And we're on the stage where we're going to find out actually we can't do it. So then we don't have that decision to make. But until then, it's going to be a real misrepresented reality of the future. And it has nothing to do with the destiny of where our future's coming and going. We are reincarnating and we will die. How well will you die? That's what's important. That's all that's important. How well will you die? How long will you live? How peaceful will you become? How much more peaceful every day will you attain that peacefulness? And how much more will you be dispelling the illusions of QAnon and all this stuff that goes on that revs people up in their emotions and their delusions and their illusions, and puts you on the wrong path. It keeps you off the path. Yeah. But if you follow the path, and the path isn't any more than just following virtues, knowing that we reincarnate, that is our path. You have to make a pact with the devil to get outside of reincarnation and get into demonic aspects and astral body processes. And most people are in that. So we're here to get out of that and follow into the path and enjoy reincarnation on our Mother Earth. We are on a spaceship, the best one in all creation. Yeah, and Christ is the pilot. Yeah, and God is the creator. That's all we have to say here. That's all we have to say. Everything else is just, we're working. We're working. Yeah, the plumbing doesn't work anymore. Okay, we're working. Yeah, we're working. That's all. That's all there is. Maintenance, fixing, infrastructure, continue. Not an escape plan. There's no such thing as an escape plan. Research, experimentation, exploration, yes. As much as we can pull off, yes. Because it will all funnel down into humanity and make humanity an easier life. We'll learn a lot by exploration. We'll learn a lot by scientific investigation and discovery. We'll learn, yeah? But we cannot leave God out of this, and we have to catch up to the reality of reincarnation and realize that Christ incarnated, Christ reincarnates, and Christ is here and always will be here. And if you haven't got that, and you're stuck in some religion, any religion, and none of them tell you this truth, none of them, not even the Dalai Lama, would tell you that the Buddha reincarnates. It's the law of our own Buddhism. He's out there. You should seek him out, not me. That's what he should be saying. And in his Dalai Lama fortitude, he's got all kinds of information to tell you that Jesus the Christ was a Buddhist practitioner. He has all of that. He has it in books. He could help humanity. But this is not what goes on. Yeah. So you need Christ. Because I'm not under the sway of false teachers. Yeah, they're under me. I'm not under control of them, and I'm not in control of them. Yeah, but it's the process of what you choose in the astral plane. If you choose fear, if you choose worry, if you choose anxiety, if you choose words that say yeah, but, and I don't trust those people. And these negative things, and that negative things, and this bit of gossip, and this negativity. If you choose any of that, then you're just open to lower mind and lesser teachings, and you're not changing the world. Yeah, you can only change the world by your own actions, by your own change, and then that radiates out, and it helps everybody else be lifted up into enlightenment. Enlightenment is a collective consciousness. It's not an individual thing. You can't get money from it. You can't get a house from it. You can't get a certificate for it. You can't get paid for it. I mean, it really is. It's totally insubstantial. But without enlightenment, you don't have life. You're running around like a chicken with his head cut off, or a turkey chasing something, or a goat eating all the time anything, and people just following and never considering discernment or discrimination, because they've been beaten down and they're thinking negatively and they have negative feelings. So all of that influence is what keeps us away from the third party. If we don't open up to the reality of the third party, then we don't get any information, because the third party is the only one that gives us the information. And you can't cut around it. You can't go to Oprah, you can't go to Dalai Lama, you can't go, unless those people are the reincarnation of Jesus Christ and can prove it, by their own emanation, by their own qualities, by their own distinct characteristics. Unless they can prove it, no one's going to say it. They may say it, but they're just not it. So it's easy to stay away from that sort of thing. But false prophets don't do that. They're Oprahs, they're Dalai Lamas. They got positions, and that's the position they're going to hold. And they're just there as a lesser teacher, including Elon Musk. None of them are actually bad people. They're unenlightened people who lead people down the wrong path, because they've never been there before. They don't know where they're going. They don't, because they have no recapitulative values of the past, because they did things wrong in the past. Dalai Lama did things wrong in the past. Many Christians did things wrong in the past. Many people did things wrong in the past. That does not lead you to awakening in the moment you're alive. It leads you to guilt, ill feelings, suspicion. The hatchet is coming down any minute. I will be the one who dies soon. And yet you keep living. You're wasting your whole life thinking, I'm going to be the one dying soon. Your whole life is wasted in that process. So only through enlightenment, only through the path, do you actually erase that energy that's carried with you. And you got to erase it. If we don't erase it, we don't enter the higher initiations so that we can actually fulfill the needs of the world. We have all this money coming in, we have all this wonderful infrastructure stuff coming in, but we have so many stupid people. So many unqualified people who are not interested in being a doctor. They're too stupid. They're borderline idiots. Over 65% of the people of the United States voted for Trump. Not once, but twice. That makes you totally illiterate. Totally illiterate. Well, that sucks. The same amount of people couldn't take the vaccine, same amount of people couldn't take their mask on, they couldn't do anything right, because they're too stupid. And when you're real stupid, you are led. You are led. You will put Jesus on the cross. You will push the button for nuclear holocaust. You will grab all the blacks and all the Mexicans and all the people you think personally are persecuting you and keeping you from the grand life that you're meant to have. And you'll do harm to these people. You'll harm them, you'll belittle them, you'll make their lives worse than what it already is. And that's the 65% of the American people. And the other half is like, they would like to make changes, but, it's so difficult when you followed Bhagwan and you followed, the guy to, what was that, that guy who had everybody drink Kool-Aid and killed themselves. What?
Charles Manson.
Yeah, Charles too. Yeah, why not? Yeah, we had Charles Manson of all people. He was with all the major rock stars. Wasn't that a funny one? But we've had, in America, we've just had a flood. We call them over here. We bring them in from India. We bring them from everywhere, and they become our cult leaders. And if we don't have enough of them, we got Jim Jones, and we got whatever it takes. We got people telling people you're going to go up to Star Trek, let's all, die tonight, wearing our nice shoes and lay in bed and all croak, because we're going to be beamed up to Star Trek when we die. You know, this is an insane world. Stupid people believe stupid things. Yeah? And it's important that I express myself, you know, because I'm saying things with enlightenment, with extreme intelligence, extreme wisdom, extreme enlightenment. I mean, way beyond Einsteinian kind of reality, folks. You know? And even Einstein was wrong. Pythagoras, he was even wrong. You know? It is the level of the Christ. It's the level of the Christ. It takes that level to counteract everybody's fearful thought forms and not be a part of it. You know, to stand completely above it all and yet be in it and not be a part of it. That's the institution of the Christ. That's why I make the tools, why I put all this stuff out. You know, everything that I put out, like this, you know, build this, you know, or you know, make forms all day long and teach about the healing of the seven rays. Yeah, because this is all energetics. This is all what people can receive by nature. By nature. Yeah, you can do flower essences, you know, all these kind of things you can do by nature. Yeah, but it requires us to have a teacher who is a doctor, who grabs all this stuff and gets it to us. You know, because we are all one. We are all one in this process. And that's why Christ is the one that teaches everybody in this process how to get out of this process. And the science that I give, the science of the soul, the science of energetic medicine, you know, vibrational medicine, all those different things, those sciences are based on the reality of our past and our future. You know, when we are more telepathic and psychic and healing, we transmit healing abilities, you know. And in the etheric weaver, in the vajras, and all those things, when people touch them, come across them, they immediately get the opportunity to talk to God. It's their one-way ticket, an immediate, yeah? Because the teacher who's putting these things out is one with God, is communicating as one with God, as a third party, yeah? So that me talking with God, being with God all the time, and then these tools are the way for you to talk with God, be with God all the time. Yeah. So this science is the elevated relationship of how you get to teaching. It's not just by listening to the crap Elon Musk has to say or the Dalai Lama has to say or something like that. The teacher literally has to give you the tools and then sit you down and say, now meditate and talk to God. Listen to God. You know, so I get on a CD so they can hear God's voice and they can hear the vibration of transition through words and understanding and clarity and a change of what is lower mind to what is even higher mind to what's even higher mind, that is able to put invocation, evocation to go along with God. Yeah. By talking with God, communicating with God. Yeah. So everything, whether we're working with an etheric weaver, immediately your process is that you're holding an etheric weaver to do what? To communicate with God. Yeah. To sit on a mat to what? To communicate with God. To go sit in a pyramid, you know, and listen to with a head pyramid, you know, and all the vajras and all the weavers and all the music that's being played, all for one thing, to listen to God, to make a connection with God. And then everybody goes, wow, you know, I never meditated like that before. I never had this peace come upon me before. I've never had all of this erased from me and not come back, you know. And that's all because we are not connected with any given teacher on earth that connects us with God. It connects us with them, but not God. Yeah. So all of this that I'm helping with is for you to teach with. You realize that it's more important, not me, it's important is God. God is what's important. I'm Christ. You should expect that I'm going to do something to get you to God. But now you have to receive the teacher and apply what the teacher has to say, which is a lot of faith, a lot more understanding, a lot more less complaining, less finding fault in other people, any of those things, because there's a specific way the path goes on a day-to-day realm for us to develop our intuition and our telepathy. If not, then we're just developing more astral illusion. And we're actually putting it out with our mind, our psychic telepathy. Our intuition becomes lower psychicism, and we're causing harm. Just like the Dalai Lama, and yet the Dalai Lama doesn't really know what degree of harm is he causing, nor does anybody else. But what's important is the teacher can show you and give you what it takes for you to stop right there in your tracks from causing harm. Just hold the tools, maintain the tools, listen to the pujas, and you're stopped in your tracks. You can't go much further in that direction. You're moved, you're motivated, you begin communicating. And that happens all night long, 24 hours a day. It recapitulates your reality over the fact that when you die, you do reincarnate. Because what you're experiencing with the Weaver and all the things I'm giving you is the same path that you're going to get on the moment you die and what takes you telepathically to your next life. You get that all when you're holding my Vajras. We're all dying. We're all reincarnating. We're all moving through life. We are always in a state of reincarnation. We are always preparing for our next life and recapitulating from our previous life. Always. So these tools get us through life. They actually hold a thread connecting all of that together. And that's called the etheric field, rather than the astral field. The astral field sets you up as a personality you can't remember shit and keep saying dirty things, mean things, not nice. And they're just there. They're just there as a reaction, as a response from TV or from whatever. And in practice, you have to practice the process of ascension by eliminating all those things coming out of your head, coming out of your voice, coming out of people coming at you, even the TV. You even get so strong that, okay, I'm going to change the channel. I'm not watching this. This really sucks. This is vampires and bullshit. I don't need it. Even though I love that actor, no, I just don't need it. Because when time passes, you're going to see all these people healing from their curse. And life is going to get real strange out there. Because God is no longer tempting. God does not tempt. God influences people to change. To move themselves from where they've been to where they need to go. And does not further anything in relationship to them going on the left-hand path. So all the way on, this is the way it goes. And the more everybody takes on the path, the more the right-hand path becomes the choice. We're all connected. So as we all take on the path, we all are moving everybody into the right-hand path. Does that make sense? So it's not an effort for you. It is an effort for everybody else who's in the left-hand path to shake their shit, knock it off, change their shit, and get on the right path. And that's going to take some really wild-ass shaking. That tree is going to drop some pretty dead fruit. And it's going to have to go through major changes to get through the life that it got going on. Because we don't, the process of the soul, the process of awakening is not something that happens slowly. Process of awakening is faster than disease. It's faster than cancer. It's faster than lightning. It's faster than, the dropping of anything that we can think of and all the horrible things that may come out of it. In the light, it comes and changes things forever. And they dominate the process of awakening so that we don't fall back into thinking, oh, we should do it like this, or we want to continue doing it like this. We actually become awakened to the reality of a temporary world. And we live within that temporary world, guided by the advancements of what goes on in our world as revelation. And that's our telepathy, that's our intuition. And that's going to grow dramatically. But right now, we have this orientation toward false teachers. So the only way to clear that is through meditation and the relationship to the tools. It's not, I've got to sell you tools, But we're going to see more people awake to the reality that, there's a guy who calls himself Jesus the Christ, Reincarnation, and the moment you say it to them, they go, yeah, I get it, man. It's not like, what? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. That's really stupid. I don't want anything to do with that, But instead, people are going, yeah, I believe it. With all this, he's proved himself, in every way. And that enters into the situation of the time. It alters everything because I'm literally doing my work, and that is changing everybody. So 5 years from now, when we need to get to that struggle, when we need to get to people to awaken more and more and become less stupid, and go to college, and go and get their degrees, and go and get training, and go and do something that is good for humanity, rather than just dropping out and not going further in anything. That process is we need that process to change dramatically, and that requires the right chakras. These chakras here that are in this body, in a healthy body, that seventh ray going to the third ray, fourth ray going up to the first, all of that healthy environment of the human nature, when that comes in, we have the easiest ability to let go of stupidity. Oh my God, I live in a hellhole. Oh my God, I have a rat's nest under my feet. Oh my God, there's pollutants everywhere. I can smell it now. I couldn't before. I don't know why. Oh my God, I live in a 9,000 square foot mansion with 20 rooms, and I only go in 3. And after a while, you find yourself in only one of those 3 rooms because you really feel the need to get really smaller, and not have so many things. So you lock all the other rooms so you don't clean them, and then you start thinking. And this is the destruction of your personality and your personality life. And it all looks really bad. That's what makes you change. It looks bad, it smells bad, it tastes bad, it makes you sick, you get tired after you eat it. It gets worse that way. Because you are becoming more vital. You don't ask for it. You're not doing anything to get it. Christ is just doing it to you, and the followers of Christ are illuminating you. So all of a sudden, cigarette smoke doesn't taste like cigarette smoke anymore. Alcohol doesn't feel like alcohol anymore. And the drugs you were doing doesn't feel like it. And the words that you were saying and the people you were hanging out with doesn't feel like it. And boy, am I glad they can take these tattoos off now. Where before, I would have put more tattoos on. But now something comes in and says, I not only don't like the tattoos, but I am thankful there is a new technology that allows them to come off quickly, cheaply. Isn't that amazing? Thank God, the path we go. And this becomes a Sangha. And Sangha, they start realizing this, that they have brotherhood and sisterhood, and everybody's getting cleaner, and they're all providing service to everybody else for all the things that we need to fix. And they're helping us fix them quickly. Not alone, but quickly. And that's where all of this comes in. That's going to happen like that. But it is a major healing crisis process that we're going to have to witness, and not the destruction of the earth or fires everywhere or devastation of pestilence and all that. It is the change inside of humanity, our willingness to put Trump in prison for long periods of time, our willingness to see whether or not those people have done what they think they've done and got away with it. You know, so much of it, on all levels. We need to have the conscience and the purity to be able to go into it, and the light of collective consciousness of other people standing up going, I'll stand up for you. I'll check into it with you. I know what you mean. I just got through reading that report. I can't stand for this anymore. It's a slow road, but it's a road of destruction. Yeah? It's a road of destruction. When the fourth ray comes back up to the first ray, it is not an annihilation of Earth. It is an annihilation of what it is that harms Earth. Whatever it is that harms Earth, puts Earth in peril and its humanity in peril, it will go through judgment. And it will, in its own process, it will change. Yeah? And that change, we will foster these people as they change. Their homes will be torn down. No one will want to go buy them. I'll just go, wow, it's amazing. I didn't think my house would sell for only $1 million when I paid $5.5 million for it. And now no one even actually wants to move into it because I made it into a piece of shit. 4 swimming pools, a basketball court on both ends. Who needs that? Nobody's going to go buy that. So these mansions, this kind of stuff is going to be left behind. As though we've had some Holocaust, but we didn't. We had a destruction of personality, of people who were doing harm to the world on the largest massive way. And they're all going through a wake-up. It's been going on for about 10 years now already. Many people in art and music and people of great riches have gone through complete insanity, and have starting to come out the other side. And now they're riding bicycles and they're living in apartments and they don't have the mansions and, they stay with one person, and they're living a life. And they're still an actor. They're still a musician. They're still the same person. Yeah, it's just that they're not possessed and consuming, which is what destroys the earth. It's the consumption. It's all the plastic in the ocean. It's all the things that we do, all the wasted time that we put into our life. And all of that is what's going to change. And that's where the path comes in. The path takes you to simplicity, and you're not choosing it. It's just going to happen. All right, so let's pray. Okay, just repeat after me. I invoke the power, the love, and the wisdom of my ashram, soul, and monad. To guide me into the right activity in the plan. To clarify and stimulate my mind. To transform and transmute my feelings and emotions. To energize and vitalize and heal my physical and etheric body. So there is a normal flow of energy in my physical and etheric body. Through this day and every day, I ask this in the name of the Christ, to serve the One. All in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. relax yourself. Focus yourself in the soul. Then sound the Om. Breathe it out upon the world of all mankind. And quietly, without sound, express the will of God moves the world. This is a thought you should keep while expressing the Om. Then say slowly and thoughtfully, the past has gone. I am the past. It makes me what I am. The future comes. I also am the coming destiny, and therefore I am that. The present flows from out the past. The future colors that which is. I make the future also by my present knowledge of the past and the beauty of the present, and therefore I am that I am. Sound the Om 3 times softly. Take a deep breath. Then say quietly, with intent and emotional poise, I know the law, and towards the goal I strive. Naught shall arrest my progress on the way. Each tiny life within my form responds. My soul has sounded forth that call, and clearer day by day it sounds. The glamour holds me not. The path of light streams clear ahead. My plea goes forth to reach the hearts of all mankind. I seek, I cry to serve your need. Give me your hand and tread the path with me. Then do the following intensive visualization exercise. Imagine a path of golden light leading from where you stand to a vast two-leaved door. Then see, rolling along this path, a disc or a wheel of rose, which you send forth, and which eventually disappears through the door. Then send along the same track a disc of disk of golden yellow. Both disappear the same way. Then send a disk or a wheel of a radiant electric blue, which rolls along the golden path, but which does not enter through the door, but remains there, hiding the door from sight. Picture then yourself as standing before the electric blue disk, having traversed the golden path, and there meditating upon the following words. I am the way myself, the door I am. I am the golden path, and in the light of my own light I tread the way. I enter through the door, I turn and radiate. Sound the Om 3 times, breathing it out upon the world from the highest point in your consciousness that seems to you at all possible. As one awakens to their place in the plan of God, and they bring forth dharma unto the world, it is to dissipate all world glamour. Ponder upon the old commentary of thousands of years ago, which is written, they come and stand within the midst of the whirling forms, some of a beauty rare and some of war and despair they stand. They look not here or there, but with their faces turned toward the light they stand. Thus through their minds the pure light streams to dissipate the fogs. They come and rest. They cease their outer labors, pausing to do a different work. Within their hearts is rest. They run not here or there, but from a point of peace and rest. That which upon the surface veils and hides the real begins to disappear, and from the heart at rest a beam of dissipating force projects, blends with the shining light, and then the mist of all mankind's creation disappears. They come and they observe. They own the eye of vision. Likewise, they own the eye of right direction, of all empowered forces. They see the glamour of the world, and seeing, they note behind it all the true, the beautiful, and the real. Then through the eye of the Buddha comes the power to drive away the veiling, swirling glamours of that glamorous world. They stand, they rest, they observe. Such are their lives, and such the service that they render to the world of mankind. Focus upon the power to stand within the light, leading to right reflection of the light. The power to rest in spiritual being, so as to focus the soul within the chosen field of service. The power to attain right observation, so as to see correctly that which should be done. Your soul energy normally finds expression through the highest quality of mind. Think in the highest form of beingness and allow yourself to rest. Sound the Om as the personality. Do so at the highest mental point, raising your aspiration at the same time with the mind to the soul. Then sound the Om as the soul, breathing it out into the will to love all beings and arresting its descent at the astral body. Do this by an act of will and the use of the creative imagination. Having vitalized the astral body and imagined the fusion of the soul, the personality, and the astral force, then direct this triple beam of energy to the heart center, rushing it directly into the heart center, so it might be expressed as the soul. Focus upon this invocation. I invoke the power, the love, and the wisdom of my ashram, soul, and monad to guide me into the right activity in the plan, to clarify and stimulate my mind, to transform and transmute my feelings and emotions, to energize and vitalize and heal my physical and etheric body, so there is a normal flow of energy in my physical and etheric body through this day and every day. I ask this in the name of the Christ, to serve the One. All in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. All in the name of the Mother, the soul, and the collective consciousness of humanity. Amen. Okay, just relax. Okay, open your eyes. All right, so the thing about the future is that we need to be witnessing what's really happening. And with your any pessimism you may carry or things like that, it's not helping. So the rule of thumb is that the aspiring process, what creates a person to aspire, to do better, to know that they didn't do that well, they need to do a little better, anything like that. That comes from that element of the Holy Spirit. So it's the growth of the Holy Spirit that makes these changes, that makes the ability for us to have this big infrastructure program coming in, and for us to see that, well, we've got two great big interplanetary kind of space programs going together, how auspicious, how fortunate for the human race, especially America, because we are the ones leading that, whether it be Amazon or whether it be Tesla, Funny as it is, but that is the way it is right now. We are so funded, so supported by the process of change, and not falling into a hole and not getting worse and not following down the bad path, of building bigger trucks and, bigger egos and having, just all this illusion that we've all come across and know that exists. But there is something going on that is destroying that to exist any longer. No foundation for it will exist. The process on every level, it will only have a foundation that will be layered in enlightenment, more and more layers of enlightenment, more and more opportunity for us to buy a solar house, for us to have a completely clean life, and live in a healthy environment, and so many things that are revolutionary to what we've experienced in the past. All the things that are going to happen in ways that we hear everybody screaming and going, wow, they're cutting back the vote in Texas and Alabama and, in Florida and and in Georgia, Well, don't they always? This is the place where that happens, So that's just for a fact. That is what goes on. But guess what? We know of it now. We know that's happening, and we know we don't want it to happen. And we have a president and a large group of people in Congress and everything. They're going to write bills that create federal demands of laws that it gives people the right to vote. And it overthrows any kind of bill that has been passed in a state that jeopardizes those laws, human rights, laws that are based on across the board. Everybody in the United States has these laws, and we can be justified in making sure every state, when it really breaks that law, that it needs to come around and evolve itself a little bit better, and make a better decision. And that wakes up the children in that state. It wakes up people who would love to live in that state, but it's just too hostile, too mean. And you can't identify. You couldn't get a job there. You couldn't stay there, But as the state changes, really heartfelt people are incarnated there, and the children come up and they're 25 years old and they're 20 years old, and they want to go into service. They want to go into politics. They want to go into police force. They want to go into many different things to help in society without it being, led by these corrupt sense of nature in ourselves. They don't want to go into the police force in order to command law over other people and get away with it, where that is pretty much the case. People come out of circumstances in the military where they've commanded law over other people and kill people unjustly and get away with it. Well, they immediately want to get a job in the police force, because it's a good chance they're going to be able to continue doing that. And they get paid well for it under the table, So all those things are going to change, and all those children are going to incarnate, and all those new lives and lifestyles are going to be implanted rather than old, it's the old way. continuing the old way. It's hard to get these guys to change, that kind of thing. Trust me, it's going to change dramatically. And a lot of it is dying out, and literally people want to get rid of the police. They want to defund them. But we're going to refund them, and we're going to educate them, and we're going to retrain them, and then we're going to seek other people who wants to be police officers, like psychologists and social workers and people who fall along that line. But maybe wouldn't it be better if you were in the police force? Yeah? And you don't have a desire to carry a gun, but this asshole over here does. I'd rather you had the job than that person, and that's the way things are going to go, as time evolves on. And we need to continue looking at this, and forget our negative thoughts and stuff, because we will not see the revelation of change that is happening in the world. And if we don't see it, we won't sponsor it, and it won't change our faith. It won't change our hope. It won't change our happiness. And we need to change our faith. We need to change our hope and our happiness. We need to see Christ in the world and working out of a plan, All right. So enjoy. Thank you very much.